So whenever there is a lot of pain, or maybe that's something that's frustrating, that can become like our forefront, right? It gets right in our face here, in our minds, and that's all we can kind of think about. And sometimes we can start to perseverate on it. It can be hard to even think about anything else, right? Because that's what has our attention. There's been so much pain or trauma, just whatever is going on. So I want you to think about something right now. um, our brain creates these pictures in our mind. Okay. And so I want you to think about, if I tell you right now about a shrinking picture. So I want you to think about, in your mind's eye, when I say the word sailboat, can you guys think of a picture that comes up, right? If you hear a word, or if you think about something, there's a picture that comes into your brain, into our mind's eye, right? And so if you're thinking of the sailboat, I want you to not pay much attention to the details, but that sailboat right now, like how big is it in your brain right now, thinking about it? Is it kind of like at the forefront? Is it off to the side? Is it moving? No, what is your awareness of this sailboat? Okay. And so I want you to now think about a situation where you were maybe really frustrated, or weren't able to communicate something that was just really frustrating for you. And it probably made you perseverate on it, kind of thinking about it constantly. Okay. Think about that. Can you find a picture in your mind's eye about that? Okay. I want you to think about that frustrating picture, something that was frustrating for you. Tune into how you feel about that picture. How are you feeling about that picture? It may be different as I'm going to ask you. I want you to think about that picture, and I want you to shrink it down in a way. Shrink it down, make it dark, black and white, down into the corner. Okay. What are you noticing in your body now as you notice that shrinking away? Anything?
I feel like I'm not like as fidgety as I was thinking about it. Like my foot was going like
Mm.
tapping when I was thinking about it, but then when I was like, okay, let it go, it just like the movement stopped.
Okay. Yeah. So you felt that in your foot, that movement? Okay. Did
Hmm.
you notice it anywhere else in your body? Any tension anywhere?
I mean, I kind of like started sitting forward a little bit, I think, and now it's like easier to
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah. Okay. So affected your posture a little bit. You're able to relax more. Yeah. Okay. So the shrinking picture, if there's something that happens in your day to day, something else that comes up, because life happens, right? Especially when we're dealing with endometriosis, there is a lot of invalidation and a lot of frustration. We can't get our communication out there. It can be so frustrating when we don't get heard, right? Now, trying this, shrinking it down and pushing it away, in the moment, it can help, like you said, relieve some of that posture, or improve some of that posture. Um, and so it's not completely taking that memory away, right? It's not decreasing the invalidation that you're not feeling, but it can, in that moment, be a strategy for yourself, right? So this shrinking picture. And this is where, the mind encodes information in pictures and movies. And so our brain thinks that way. It encodes those memories that way. And so when it's in our forefront, and when it's right up there in our frontal vision, in our mind's eye, that's all we can bring attention to. And so by doing this strategy of shrinking it down, or, thinking about it, noticing it, bring awareness to it, and then shrink it down, push it away, make it nice and small and dark, right? And noticing that change, potential relief in your body, even if it's subtle. And the more we do this, the more that is part of that retraining of our nervous system. It doesn't have to be right there in our forefront constantly. Okay. Do different tools throughout each week. So this is one to add to your toolbox here. This is the opportunity for you guys to connect with each other. Maybe share what was that thought you might have had, or that frustrating experience, if you wanted to.
of that, but you said that you kind of were feeling relaxed as you kind of minimize that kind of image. What sort of kind of feelings were there for you?
Um, well, I was thinking about how when I was having to ask for more, like an extension for my return to work, like after surgery, because we initially planned
Yeah,
on 4 weeks and I needed more like 6,
yeah,
which is where I'm at right now. And like, just like, it wasn't, I think that the doctors like didn't want to give it to me. It was like going through the office staff to be like, this is my
yeah,
problem. I don't know if this is normal, but I need more time. And like, they're like,
yeah.
okay, we'll let the doctor know. And then,
It's the back and forth, isn't it?
yeah,
And then
it's
you
the
not
back and
knowing
forth. And
what's,
then, yeah. And
yeah.
so it was like Friday afternoon before like my leave ended on Monday morning.
Oh
And I'm like calling them
no.
and I'm like, I just
You're
need to,
panicking over the
yeah. And
weekend.
like the whole
Yeah,
night before, I was like, I'm going to call him at noon. I'm going to give him until like, and I was just like, in that, like, this is what I'm gonna have, like having like mental argument with them. Like, I
yeah,
need this.
yeah. So did
You
you manage
know?
to get in touch with them to get that extended?
Yeah, I did. And then
Good.
they just like weren't checking the email. Like, so
Oh,
because they were like, yeah, just email us what you need. And then I didn't get it back. And then
oh,
called them on Friday and I was like, what is going, like, what's the problem? Like, why
yeah.
are you not giving me the time? And they're like, oh, we just didn't
Mm.
see it. And I was like,
So that's really good then that like you could use this tool as a way of kind of like like she was saying, recognizing it, seeing it, but also being able to kind of change that, adjust it, and bring it back down and kind of
Mhm.
reduce that sort of feeling, but still know it's there because it's not about invalidating, is it? It's about, like she said, actually recognizing what's going on. So that's really good that you
Mhm.
felt that like physical moment kind of happen. That's really nice
Yeah.
that happened for you. Yeah, I was just like spinal cord stimulator to get put in my
Okay.
back as part of a pain management trial in the UK. It's like the first of its kind in the UK, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
But I've got my big switch on Thursday where we see if the device is working, whether the cables have switched places or moved or anything, which is a quite a high risk. And it's kind of been something on my mind quite a lot.
Mhm.
Um, just that kind of niggling worry, even though I know it's quite the risk isn't too bad, it's not too high, it's still a niggle in the back of my mind.
Mhm.
Um, so kind of with that moment just then, it just kind of gave me that space to just kind of stop and take a step back and just kind of settle into the kind of feeling instead of feeling on edge and a bit like what you were
Mhm.
saying, like you almost like felt yourself kind of just like relax into it. So I was kind of the same. Um, but yeah, it's like a weird
Yeah.
time.
I feel like it's like trying to control the future.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because the unknown is like so scary. And you're like, what if it gets worse?
yeah. Yeah, and I think, I mean,
And like,
obviously, you understand with endometriosis, you think, oh, I might
mhm.
have this thing, and then it's like all the effort you put into it, and then you find out something's worse, or something's different, or something else has gone
Mhm.
wrong, and you're like, oh God. So you can become
Mhm.
pessimistic. So I've tried to stay really positive with all of this. So I think it was nice to just kind of have that step back, um, and just kind of sit in that moment. It was quite nice.
Mhm. It's nice. I feel like, I don't know, I'm a spiraler. So I've been lately having to be
Mm.
like, what it like you're having a mental argument with somebody in the future. Like this, you like
Yeah,
think someone's not going to give you what you need, and you're
yeah,
like your boss or my mom or the
yeah.
doctor, and so you're like having like that brace like argument, like this is going to go wrong and this is what I'm going to do about it,
Yeah,
and
it's all
like having to be
like,
like stop doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's
Like,
like you are, but I also think that it's good to an extent to have those little scenarios, those little arguments,
Mhm.
because you're kind of like processing and working through, and like if you then imagine all these options, it's like, well, what would I do in each of those situations? How would I cope? What would my questions be,
Mhm.
sort of thing. I think it's being able to find that balance, isn't it, of that realistic
Mhm.
of understanding that what you're panicking about or spiraling about, that
Mhm.
you then bring in the reality of, well, this could go well and these positive things can happen as well.